Oh, right. There we go. Okay, so I'm back. Is that fixing the problem for everybody?
Wait, how
Sweet, sweet.
I can read the text in the game.
In the game? All right. Wow. Yeah. My apologies. Then we'll get this thing situated. All right. So back. All right. That makes people happy. Now look at how pretty the game is. Isn't this game so pretty? Alright, so like I was saying, I've got this to show up in the game, but right now it doesn't have any collisions, so it's just like, you know, a ghost object. Yep, okay. Uh, so let's fix that real fast. Uh, fix that. We're going to go into the data sheet here, back into the brick wall. And basically it just didn't inherit because it doesn't have a default. Right. I mean, we just have a bunch of options. Actually, I bet I can steal something from the wooden crate, maybe? That's pretty close to the size of the breakable wall. We can kind of adjust it from there if we need to. Sweet. Okay. Well, glad that's much better. What do we got here? Go all the way over here. Collidable. Movable, destructible. Well, that should. We'll give it 6 hit points. No shielding. Emitters, well, let's see if this works first, and then I'll show you about hooking emitters up to this thing.
No. Yeah, that was time. So. Why?
Hey, look at there. See, if I turn on collision, which makes the frame rate pretty atrocious, but you can see, actually, if I zoom in, you'll notice that it's drawing this little collision box, but it's a little too high on the stone segment there. It should be a little lower, so we can go in and kind of adjust that offset on the y-axis and move it down a little bit. So there's a lot of like little finagling when it comes to this stuff. You know, we're gonna move this. What do I got? -11, that's a character size. Let's try 11 pixels. And that's pixel, and it's SD size, so it actually doubles it in HD resolution if we need to. That's one of the neat things about this whole system is it kind of upsizes or downsizes rather, depending on whether you're running it at HD or not. moved it the wrong direction. Doofus. Because in our world, negative is up. That's better. Closer. In fact, we might even be just a little too low. Let's do 10. Yeah, I mean, that seems kind of reasonable. I don't handle the back end of things very well. I just know the system. Yeah. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna say that's pretty good. That's pretty close. Kind of hide it. It might need to be just a little bigger or something, but we'll do alright. So now that we have that, oh, actually, you know what I need to do? Let's hit it. I actually have to not be the jailer in order to hit something. Is that in the version we have as well? So,
sometime probably, I didn't be a lot yet, but eventually I will load 2 executables before the regular release.
mm-hmm.
There will be a mod executable as well.
Okay.
Where you can zoom and check out those.
Sure. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, you're referring to being able to see the hitboxes and all that jazz. Yeah, there'll be 2 executables eventually, Kobe says. One that's like a moddable executable that you can zoom in and zoom out and do the hitboxes and all that jazz. It just makes it a little bit easier from an editing perspective. So we'll select the... Oh, okay. So it disappeared. Voila. 2 hits. It takes 2 hits from the hammer, which is good to know. X out here. And that hammer, yes, that hammer. That crudely drawn template hammer of doom. Okay, so now that we have it in-game, effectively, we can go ahead and give this some more effects. I don't like that it just kind of disappears, right? That kind of, well, it sucks. It looks weird. It doesn't look right. So we're going to go into this emitters, which is what I just pulled up here. And we have a couple different things we can do. There's particles, so that's like when you hit the chains with the sword or something, you see the sparks fly. Those are particles. They're not affected by physics, or I mean, they're not collidable. They're just shinies, basically. You also have this thing called debris, which is like a particle, except that it hits the ground and then deactivates. So it actually can be affected by the physics at first. So these are things like, well, you can see the gobbling eyes, everybody loves. The flesh, chitin, fur, bone bits, liquids, goos, woods, fabrics, ceramic chunks, glass, shrapnel. I've got a whole bunch, and then there's some room for some more in here once we get the assets for them and things that actually use them, because right now we don't even use all of these, but we have them available at some point. So that thing is made of rock, so where did my chunk, okay, so I've got boulder bits here and stone chunks. That's pretty awesome. And each of these, just like an object, is referencing a little image, just like the rock wall that we just put in. They can have all of these little assets, but really we just are interested in the name themselves. Emitters. Okay, so these are particles. Now we'll go into an emitter. And an emitter basically spits out either debris or a particle, or I mean, really, it can do a whole lot of things. Emitters are pretty neat things. And all we have to do is tell it what to spit out. And I actually think there's something similar. Okay, so here's the kind of like template rock emitters. Let's do, we'll insert one below. And we're going to copy this one down, because we're going to edit this one. We're not just going to make a completely new one, because I don't need to. I already have all the things. And we will, so what I've done is I've copied this ID name, and I'm going to go over here to the objects list, to this little guy, and on its death, so see, this is the death emitter column property, I guess, and we're just going to put that right in there, and then we're going to download its separated value, and we'll test out just to see what the default emitter looks like. My bet is that it will look really wonky. Oh, I forget. Gotta have the controller plugged in here. Boom. Oh my god. Okay, so it was probably a few too many. Oh, I see it. And you can crush these little guys. Okay. So a lot of starting the game and then turning the game off and then turning the game back on again. We're going to give this a new unique title. We're going to call it EM Rock Explode. And all of this stuff should effectively be the thing we need. Right, so immiscibles is an important part of this whole situation. This is basically where we set up what things it spawns. Actually, I will change this to right now. It looks like it's spawning 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So somewhere like 6 different images it has to pull from, which, like I was saying earlier, pulls from that debris database that we showed you earlier. It goes into the quantity, so that's how many it loads up, and then the minimum spawn, so it's going to spawn 2 stone hunk 01s. It's going to spawn a minimum of 2 stone hunk 02, 2 stone hunk 03, and so on. Each of these semicolons basically distinguishes it from the same thing in the list previous to it. So it just, as long as you keep it in line, like you know, this relates to the first one, the second one relates to the second one. And its spawn probability is a fun one. That decides basically what the odds are of it spawning one when it gets hit. So you have a range, basically a scale of maybe it spawns 1, maybe it spawns 500, who knows. And actually these aren't hooked up. So I think that it spawned too many. So let us change the maximum spawn on these to 3. That's all the way up to 8. Let's make it something more like 5. So we just changed the maximum spawn, so it doesn't spawn quite so many of those little things. And then we will download this. To emitters. Okay. Oh, where's my drop? All right, there we go. All right, so that's closer to maybe what we need. I like these, well, the smallest of the rocks better. I think that maybe we need to do some more of the debris and less of the little destructible bits. So let's go here, back to, do I have debris up? I do. Let me look and see which ones are which. Sometimes I have to do this, I can't remember exactly which object is referenced, which is not hard. Okay, so these are particle boulder, and these are particle rocks. Big difference between a boulder and a rock, really. Let's see. It's particle boulder. Boulder bits, stone hooks. What's the name of that? D underscore boulder bit. So let's do that. Let's see, spawn the rock spawn. First off, let's make sure that we spawn more of these, because I do like that. And actually, let's change this to D underscore bit 0, 4. I think that was the one that I wanted. Let me look here. Bit 0, 4. That will be worth a try. Yeah, Lux Sky, I guess. That's Luke Sky. Yeah, it's physics based, so potions and things are definitely flying around, and we have a shield kind of bash dash thing too that'll knock enemies all over the place. So a lot of kind of crazy things that can happen. So what? Yeah. Okay. See, that makes more sense to me. I like that. Break everything. Okay. Okay. So now, let's redo this. I'll show you guys something here. This thing here, this destructible little bit, it right now it takes 2 hits with the hammer to destroy, and right now it looks really weird. I'll hit it once, and nothing will happen. Watch. So nothing happens. Now it has taken damage. I know for a fact the 2 hits it takes to destroy this. If I hit it a second time, you get the emitter, you get the blocks, and that time it decided to spawn a whole bunch of those little boulders. So I might change that and make that even less. Make it spawn those even less often. But for the time being, let's fix that first bit, because the problem is it just looks weird if you hit it once and nothing happens. So let's go to objects here, breakable wall. And right now I just have this emitter. Oh, well that's why, I have the wrong emitter on it, so I changed the ID of it. Let's see what it looks like with the new emitter. Sometimes it's difficult to keep track of all of these things. Okay, so now we've got rock explode. And we'll go and grab EM rock hit. Fill color doesn't really make any difference to the data, by the way, it's just OCD. The little boulders can affect the movement. I mean, kind of. I mean, they do have a hitbox, and you can destroy them. It's spawning from the object, so that they're not actually considered debris until you hit them a second time. So it's just a way to make it seem a little bit more realistic. You don't immediately go for the strongest, the most debris right off the bat. It works its way down the line, basically. There we go. Okay. So see, what I'm doing is I just mash them up even more with that hammer after. Uh, like I said, I feel like that's just a little too many of those big boulders. That's what those are. I see. So the thing I thought was nothing is actually something. Big surprise. So we need to make these spawn less often, not more often. Let's say the most you'll ever get out of one of those things is 2. And the least you'll ever get is 0. Okay, so I hit it one time, and it's got a single little emitter that came off a bit there, just to kind of give you the idea that you've done something to it, since the image itself doesn't change. And then the second time, voila, it does that. I think maybe it could use a little more, but that might have been because the randomizer didn't want to spit out very many. I can change the minimum value so that it spawns a few more. Yeah, so right now it's just not spawning very many at all. Here we go. If we wanted to, we can even see, let's see here. Nice. So let's change these to really crank them up here so we can see what the difference is. Sometimes easier to change up here. Can't do that. Can't be. Basically, you can never spawn or spawn more than you load into the game. So you have to make sure that that max spawn number isn't more than the quantity number. Boom. There we go. It's the little things, you know, devil's in the details here. See, right now that debris, it's deactivated. So if I turn the hitboxes on, you can see that it's got little drawn circles around it, but those are effectively what would be hitboxes, but since they're deactivated, you can't ever actually like run into them or anything, so they don't mess with your movement at all. I'm not sure. Whoa. Something I just noticed, there are sparks that come off of the table when I hit it. That's something that could probably be fixed. I don't think that's supposed to happen. No. No. Did you take out the shield dash doing damage?
For Lander, no.
No?
I might not commit it.
Oh.
I think I committed. I might not have.
I don't know. I was trying to shield bash these things and it's not doing things. Ah, nope. I don't think you committed. Oh, I knocked him out of the wall. That's cool. So yeah, like you said, strange things happen sometimes. Oh, and then I died. Wah, wah. Alright. Well, it's almost 4 o'clock. I know that was a real exciting run through our sort of data sheets and basically getting something in from its actual just drawn state into tiled and then into the data and then into the game. I don't know. Hey, yeah, I know. Call me a noob. I suck at the game that I'm helping make. So yeah. Anyway, that's sort of Delver's Drop. If there's any questions, you know, feel free to ask. I'm just kind of watching the chats up here, so. Silence. Ah, well, Doom, that's why you write your questions down, like a dedicated fan would, and remember to ask them. Big fireball. Alright, well, I'm going to call it a day here, guys. So it was nice having you on. Thanks for watching. Again, my name is Nathan. I'm showing you guys some things about getting things from their drawn state into the game. So this is Delvish Drop, and I'm going to say goodbye. So it's been real.